to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode, man. And as you can see, what a bounce back week for your boy. I went 5-7 last week, went 10-2 yesterday. So I'm excited. I'm happy now. One of the wins in my record column was a loss for my team, but we'll get into that later. But before we get into week 4 and recapping, I would like to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network, helps my channel CTC by way of the Refuse to Lose Network. Now, we are 1 subscriber away from triple digits from 100. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. I know 100 ain't much to some, but it means a lot to me for all the hard work I put in. But like I said, we're a network. So we have other shows on the network. We have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Tuesday and Friday from about 7 Eastern to about 8:30ish. So make sure y'all tune into that. We have Unfazed every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, featuring Joe and AJ. So make sure y'all tune into them. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. And boy, are my Tigers choking. We're now 1 game in front of the Guardians for the division. It's going to happen, isn't it? We're going to blow it. I can't. Whatever. FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Today is the big day for fantasy football, guys. It's the day where most of the people play. So make sure y'all get y'all tidbits before the week starts. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. So be on the lookout when those drop. RBO, Real Ballers Only, hosted by Vaughn. Make sure y'all check him out. Episodes should be dropping soon. Joe Jordan Show, he drops randomly discussing random topics. And we have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo, boxing episode every other Sunday, discussing all your boxing topics and needs, except for exhibitions. So make sure y'all check them out as well. And that's all the shows we have on the network. So please like, comment, share, subscribe to them. As we, and if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, shout out to my brother. I don't know why this joint doing that on this end, but it says 10-2, week 5. We're going for 12-0. Oh, hey man, I would love to, but it's always something. And we're gonna talk about that something too, because we should have been 11-1. But Arkansas, man. But we're gonna talk about that in a second. But this is now rebranded to This Week in College Football. And we always start with our upsets. And our first upset we have, I told y'all in the preview, I touched on it in the poll talk. 17th ranked Texas Tech beat 16th ranked Utah 34-10 on the road, as I predicted. Now, Texas Tech came out, got a big stop, got the ball, and got a huge chunk play on what some may or may not say is an offensive pass interference, maybe a pick play they got away with. It is up to your interpretation. But they got a big play, a 73-yard reception by Kobe Williams. Basically, a lot of yak on that catch. It wasn't that long at air yards. But that set him up for the touchdown to start the game. Then after that, it was just like a turnover fest. It was, you fumble here. I throw a pick here. You fumble here. I'm going to fumble there. It was a turnover fest. Texas Tech did not take advantage of said turnovers. They actually gave the ball back to Utah. But yeah, it was a lot of turnovers going on. But Baron Morton does get knocked out of this game, and in steps Will Hammond, and he has a day. He has an absolute day, going 13 to 16, throwing, running the ball, making big plays. He ran for a big play late in the game. He was huge. Now, a big difference between Texas Tech and Utah was third down conversions. Texas Tech, 9 of 17. Utah, 4 of 14. So Texas Tech was over 50%, while Utah was quite clearly below 50%. So that's a win for Texas Tech. And they won the turnover battle 4-2. Like I said, it became a turnover fest at one point. But yeah, Texas Tech won the turnover battle 4-2. And like I said, man, Will Hammond coming in for Baron Morton. He pulled a Baron Morton, if we being honest. But I also got to shout out Caleb Douglas. Made some huge contested catches. Coy Eakin made some plays as well. But Caleb Douglas was making huge contested catches. Utah offense, man. I told y'all it may have some problems. I seen the game against Wyoming and noticed it there. Like, Wyoming, pretty solid defense, but they're not of the level of Texas Tech. And they struggled against Wyoming in that first half. And they got 3 points. Should have went scoreless in the first half, but I think he jumped. It was an offsides or something like that. Oh, running into the kicker. It was either running or roughing into a kicker that got the do-over for Utah's field goal kicker after he missed to end the half. That gave Utah the 3 points at halftime. But I noticed the struggle of the Utah offense in the first half against Wyoming, and I pretty much kind of seen that coming with Texas Tech. But it's a great win for Texas Tech. They look great on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Defensively, it looks like a massive change. Texas Tech is looking like one of the top powers in the Big 12. Great win. I'm interested to see how far they jump up in the polls this week. Shout out my boy Chris. I don't know why it's not showing y'all pictures on the comments, but it is right here. He said my slip got tore. Hey, you and me both, bruh. Shout out to Memphis. They tore mine up. Well, shout out to Arkansas, I should say. And shout out to my guy Chris. We played them all against the Lions. Shout out my guy. But we got another upset to talk about. We got another upset to talk about. Oh, hold on. Hey, what's up, producer? Anyway, Illinois. Oh, no. You know what? We're going to talk about this upset first. Memphis upsets Arkansas 32-31 at home. And all I'm going to say is this. Before I get into the game, don't y'all be blaming Sam Pittman for this. This is not Sam Pittman's fault. It's not. Players have to perform. Players have to make plays. And when players mess up, you got to hold players accountable. This is not Sam Pittman's fault. And I'm going to explain why in a minute. So Arkansas goes up 28-10. And I'm thinking once they go up 28-10, this offense is too explosive. This game is over. Memphis, really good team, really good offense. But Arkansas with Taylor Green and these Omega Blake and these guys, Mike Washington, this offense is too much. And they proceed to score 3 points for the rest of the game. And, I mean, not only that, the stuff to end the game. So they go up 28-10, but Memphis finds their way back in the game. I can't find my points. Oh, here we go. Some points I want to touch on. Memphis. Actually, I'm going to save that. So here we go. Arkansas in the fourth quarter. They went fumble. No, excuse me. They went interception. They went punt after a bunch of penalties and stuff to shoot themselves in the foot. And then they went fumble. Those were their last 3 drives of the fourth quarter. Pittman can't control the interception. Pittman can't control. We got the field goal to go ahead, well in reach. 2nd and 1, Mike Washington up the middle, first down, but he gets the ball punched out, and Memphis recovers. And then after that, with Memphis trying to salt the game with Arkansas having 3 timeouts, 3rd and 8 comes, and you have Brandon Lewis stop for a 3-yard gain, but he just drags the Arkansas defense for a first down. That's not on coaching. That's just want to. That's will. And you don't want to win when those things happen. So this is not on Brandon. I mean, it's not on Sam Pittman at all. Credit to Memphis for sure. Fighting the way back in the game. Breaking big plays. Holding this explosive offense to 3 points in the second half. But in no way, shape, or form is this on Sam Pittman. You had a field goal to win the game well in hand. You're in the red zone with that first down. You're running back fumbles. You have them stop for Memphis to punt with 1 timeout left. So you're going to get the ball back with a lot of time. And he drags your defense 7 yards. That's unacceptable. And you're going to get your coach fired for that. It's not going to happen now. But if that stuff continues, they're going to get him fired. So credit to Memphis for the win. But that ruined my 10-2 record. I was supposed to be 11-1. My only loss being I picked Nebraska over Michigan, which I can live with that. I can live with that. But it is what it is. Shout out to Memphis for that win. They wanted the game more, and you could tell on the field they wanted it more than Arkansas. Arkansas, they cruised once they went up 28-10. They thought it was over. Bunch of mistakes, and I'm not even gonna say like they cruised for real. It's just players made mistakes down the stretch. And Chris says Memphis stood on business. I can't lie. They did. They capitalized on every opportunity, especially the interception. They scored like a couple plays after that. I'm not going to lie. Once it was 26-31 and Memphis got that turnover, I bet Memphis to win that game. So I'm like, yep, seen this before. I already know what's about to happen. So it is what it is. But the last upset that I'm going to leave in the upsets, now there was a couple more upsets, but I'm going to leave them on games to mention because really don't want to talk about them like that, was Illinois and Indiana. Illinois, now this is a numerical upset. This is like your classic college upset. Illinois, ranked 9th in the country, gets drugged by Indiana, 19th in the country, which I told y'all that defense by Cignetti was going to be ready. I told y'all. I'm a huge Cignetti guy. I'm watching Michigan State over here getting drugged by USC, thinking like, dang, we could have had what's going on in Indiana. That's who I want. I'm going to keep saying it because he keeps winning. That's who I said to go get. But no. Anyway, they win 63-10. And immediately, Illinois first possession, they go back to punt. D'Angelo Pons, the playmaker he is, blocks a punt and returns it for a touchdown. Now next, I ain't going to lie, D'Angelo Pons is a part of a coverage bust. And Colin Dixon scores a 50-something yard touchdown pass. But that's it. A busted coverage is the only reason why Illinois scored a touchdown last night. That is all. The rest of it was the Fernando Mendoza show. Only had 2 incompletions against a top defense in Illinois. Now, granted, Miles Scott did get ejected for targeting. No, he didn't. I think they overturned it. For targeting. But they shut out Illinois in the second half. They couldn't run the ball. It was just a complete domination. And like I told y'all, I understand what Indiana did against Ohio State, who won the Natty last year. This ain't that. Illinois is a great team, but they're not a national champion contender. Ohio State was a national championship contender. And I also want to say one more thing. I know Indiana kind of got clowned by being dominated by Notre Dame, but nobody came back and said that Notre Dame made the national championship game and played Ohio State really tough. Nobody said nothing about that. So while Indiana did get dominated, the score won't tell you how really bad the domination was. Nobody went and said, hey, yeah, Indiana got dominated. Yeah, Indiana fought at the end. But they lost to a team that made it to the national championship and almost looked like they were about to get back into the game against Ohio State. They actually played Ohio State pretty tough. Nobody said that. So Cignetti is yet again has another college football playoff team who I don't know if they got national championship aspirations, but they got Big Ten championship aspirations. They were close to making the Big Ten championship last year. They're a team to be messed with. They're not an easy win if you're not a national championship contender. You better bring your A game with Cignetti and the boys. But I did want to touch on that because that is crazy. And shout out to my brother who is an op, by the way, because he is an Ohio State fan and he's not a bandwagon. He's been an Ohio State fan since we grew up. But he says nobody messing with them Buckeyes. He's an op, but it's okay. Next, we're going to move on to some notable games. Some games I want to talk about. The first game I got, battle of ranked teams, was the game I thought it would be. Auburn, Oklahoma. Auburn loses on the road 17-24. The game almost ended in some fireworks. I will say this. Oklahoma definitely got away with an obvious defensive pass interference on Cam Coleman. It was quite obvious. I don't know how that wasn't called, but for my record, I was happy with it. Oklahoma had 10 team sacks. Yes, you heard me correct. 10 total team sacks. A day at the office for the Oklahoma defense. R. Mason Thomas, he only played the second half. Like I said, the first half, he was ejected by targeting. I said that in the preview. So he couldn't play the first half. 2 sacks in the second half. Immediately got on the field and made an impact. I think he made a sack on his first defensive drive to make Auburn punt the ball. And then at the end of the game, I believe he was part of the play that had Auburn have a safety. Just immediate impact. R. Mason Thomas is like that. So shout out to him. But the game was fun. It was very defensive. Like I thought, Auburn, really good defensive team. Oklahoma, really good defensive team. I figured they would do a pretty good job on defense. Oklahoma, they was just able to pull it out. John Mateer made some plays. Isaiah Santanga had a big day at the office. So did Cam Coleman. Was that Jackson Arnold that missed Cam Coleman wide open by like a couple yards? Can't remember if that was a trick play or not, but he missed him badly. And yeah, Oklahoma hangs on to secure the W. Now, I will say that onside kick was kind of close, but Oklahoma recovered. It was just a great game. Great game. Both teams showed that they're really good. They have made major improvements from last year in the SEC, and that they're not an easy out. You got to bring your lunch pail every week in the SEC. I can't think of one team, except maybe Kentucky, where you like, all right, this ain't gonna be as bad as playing somebody else. Vanderbilt, really good. Just hung 70 on Georgia State. I mean, just hung 31 on South Carolina. Ole Miss, we'll talk about that in a second. It's just some quarterback controversy. Really good team, really good offense. Even Arkansas, really good offense. They just found ways to lose games. The SEC in total is really good. Tennessee, looking like an SEC championship contender. Really good team, but we got to move on to an upset. Well, not an upset, excuse me. To a road win. 21 ranked Michigan beats Nebraska on the road. I don't even know what Will Compton bet was. I'm going to try to find that out. 30-27. Now, Nebraska started off pretty good. It looked like it was going to go pretty well. Got down to the red zone, 4th down, didn't get it. Now, I don't think the play calling was all that great. Like, I think they should have flipped their 2nd and their 3rd down play calls, if I'm being honest. But then their second drive, they go down, miss a field goal. So 2 missed opportunities to start the game. Then Michigan scores a field goal. Then Michigan gets a touchdown run off of Bryce Underwood quarterback design run. Just nobody within maybe 5-10 yards of him. But Nebraska battles back. They come back in again. They tie it up. But as soon as they tie it up at 10-10, Justice Haynes breaks a big one. 75-yard touchdown run. He just has a knack for it. He did it against Oklahoma. He did it against Nebraska. He's going to break the big one. But Nebraska catches the break, catching a Hail Mary right before halftime. Ja'Cory Barney, big day at the office, catches a break. But the second half was really the difference in the game. Nebraska couldn't really move the ball in the second half, and it showed. Their only touchdown came at the end of the game to try to fight back in it. Michigan, however, was moving the ball very well. I mean, and when plays had to be made for Michigan, they made plays. 3rd down to ice the game. I don't even think they got to a 3rd down, honestly, to ice the game. But they just made the plays necessary in the second half to win the game. They were able to run the ball effectively when need be. Players got open. So it's a good game. Good win for Michigan. They move on to 4-1. Probably will jump the rankings, but it's not a bad loss. It's a tough loss if you're in Nebraska. Not a bad loss, but you're able to bounce back. I mean, you got a bye week, and then they play Michigan State. So that's a bounce back for them. Hopefully it's not, but hey, we move on to SMU at TCU, which saddens me that I found out yesterday that there's no more scheduled matchups in the future. Please schedule this game as ASAP. It's always fun to watch. It's always a fun game to watch. But TCU wins 35-24, like I predicted. And I told y'all in the preview, I need to see more Eric McAllister. And TCU said bet. He went for 203 tuds. He went bonkers. Josh Hoover had 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Eric McAllister, huge catch, jump ball, 50-yard line. Huge catch. That was third down. Down 3. Kept the drive alive for a touchdown, which I think Eric McAllister scored. But TCU strikes first, and they had the lead for like majority of the game. I think they had the lead all the way until like midway through the fourth. They just had the lead. SMU took the lead, like I said, but that was it. Once they took the lead, TCU took the lead and never looked back. TCU goes up and scores 2 straight touchdowns and catches the interception while up 11 and ices the rest of the game. Like I said, man, the Eric McAllister jump ball catch at midfield was huge. It allowed TCU to keep a drive alive and score, take the lead. They got another stop, scored again, caught a pick, iced the game. Big win for TCU, and I've been saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. Rank TCU. I'm waiting. Hopefully happens in the next hour or two. But we move on to the last game. Oh, hold on. Is this the last game I think it's notable? Yeah, the last game I think is notable. Because I got a bunch of games I want to mention, but I don't want to talk on them too long. And that's Arizona State at Baylor, baby. Sun Devils on the road as underdogs, like I predicted, takes down the Baylor Bears. They start the game. They get a fumble. They actually start each half getting a fumble. I believe they got a fumble to start the second half as well. But Baylor did a great job on Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson was covered very well. Couldn't really get going. They forced other people at Arizona State to beat them. And, I mean, not too many people won. Arizona State really had to rely on Sam Levitt, which I figured they would. Jordan Tyson did score late to put him up 7 points and got the 2-point conversion for that as well. And he came up big when he got almost the first down, but he drew a late hit, unnecessary roughness to continue the game-winning drive. So when plays needed to be made, Jordan Tyson did step up. Oh, no, I got one more game. I wanted another notable game. Excuse me. This is not the last one. Sorry. But Baylor defense came to play. Baylor's defense did a great job not allowing Arizona State to score touchdowns, and that kept them in the game. It actually allowed them to take the lead late before Jordan Tyson did what he did. Because Arizona State was threatening the red zone a lot, but they weren't able to convert touchdowns. They were only able to get field goals, and that kept the game close. Baylor then takes the lead at 17-16. Jordan Tyson then scores, but Michael Trigg actually gets involved late and scores as well. But then that's when Arizona State has a game-winning drive to win it 27-24, completing the upset, giving me 3 upset picks of the week, correct? 1, like I said, numerically in college football, and 2 underdogs. So I'm happy with those. And the last game I wanted to that's notable, I told y'all, man, they just have South Carolina number. Missouri beats South Carolina 29-20 at home, winning 6 of their last 7 in their matchups. It's unfortunate. Bo Perbula had a heck of a game, but again, I told y'all, and it reared its ugly head. South Carolina cannot get off the field on third downs, and it reared its ugly head. Missouri on third down was 7 of 13. Over 50%. It's not going to get it done. It's not. Ahmad Hardy. He looked like a man amongst boys. Just breaking whatever tackle he wanted to break. I remember his touchdown. I think it was Missouri's last touchdown. I saw his legs get hit from under him. And he still scored. He came out of it and scored. I'm like, how does this happen? I know Ahmad Hardy is one of the toughest runners to bring down in college in the country. But that can't happen in the goal line. Still scored. So that sucks. But Lenore Sellers, despite the loss, had a hell of a game. He did. Hell of a game. Over 300 passing yards. We couldn't establish the run. I think we were negative in rushing yards. Couldn't run the ball for nothing. But Lenore Sellers tried to bring out his do-it-your-own self kid, and he couldn't. But Lawson at is Fadarius Jacobs. Great game by him. Great game by him. He had a hell of a game. But it's just Lenore Sellers just wasn't enough. And I will say this. The defense did provide opportunities for the offense to take the lead, and the offense did not capitalize. We actually went 3 and out. Before Mizzou iced the game with that field goal, that drive before went 3 and out. And I said it in the chats, become a member. I said, I hope this game don't come down to our defense, because if it does, we lose. And then when I saw we went 3 and out, we went to point, I said, this game is over. Mizzou's about to ice it. It's over. Took up all the clock. Not all of it, but a lot of the clock. Forced the punt. Went up 9, and it was all she wrote from there. So a great win for Missouri. I think Missouri's still undefeated. And I just want to say this. I know I didn't have Missouri having the best year. I think I had them going 6-6 or something like that. And that's because I didn't know Bo Pribula was this good. I'm thinking like Penn State keeps him suppressed. Yeah, he's just a gadget guy. They let him walk to, go to Mizzou, which is great by him. But I'm thinking, all right, yeah, that's great by them. But it might be a reason behind that too. Nah, Pribula's the man. I'm honestly starting to question, if I'm Penn State, would I rather have Pribula or Drew Allard? Real talk. That's how well he's playing. But got to give Pribula all the props in the world. He's absolutely putting on a clinic right now. He's balling right now. He is balling. So it's hard to do him. He did throw a pick to Brandon Cisse, but Brandon Cisse got him. It was just like one of those, I got you. Like, you didn't see him because he made a play. But Bo Pribula is balling, and I have to give him his flowers right now. So shout out to Pribula. Now we got some games to mention. Oh, but before I mention these games, shout out my boy Kev. He did say take the points. Hey, you should be saying that to Teddy, not me. I already knew what it was. I ain't take that. I ain't touch that game. But shout out my boy Kev. But we got games to mention. Some games I just want to touch on quick. And we're going to start with Florida getting dominated by Miami, 26-7. Did pick Miami in this game. I picked Florida in the preseason, but once I seen how Florida was playing, I said, no way I'm picking Florida in this game. I will say this, though, again, Florida's offense wasted a hell of a performance by that Florida defense. Florida defense came to play. Miami, for the longest, was stuck at 13. But it's only so much your defense can do before the dam breaks. And the dam broke, and Miami scores 2 straight touchdowns to win 26-7. Offensively, Florida better figure it out. One, Coach Napier is going to get fired. He is. It's just what it is. They're going to fire him. But two, Lagway might walk. He might walk. But yeah, great win by Miami. Second game I want to mention. Oh, how the mighty has fallen. And I say this as I predicted them to win the national championship, as of a lot of analysts. Syracuse and Coach Fran Brown, with his Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford analogy, takes down Clemson 34-21, making Clemson 1-3. Only win was against Troy. They've lost every ACC opponent they placed. They lost to Syracuse, they lost to Georgia Tech, and then they lost to LSU, which is the SEC opponent. They have lost to every Power 4 team they have played. So, great win by Syracuse. They jumped out on Clemson. Clemson with another slow start. And Fran Brown gets a big win in Syracuse program history. Well, I don't want to say program history, but for the Syracuse program. And shout out Fran. Y'all know I'm a Fran Brown supporter here. So, that he looked real smart for that Canelo and Bud Alvarez. They said, Canelo and Bud Crawford, they was like, hey, you're 17.5 point dog. Does that like phase you? Like, hey, they said Bud couldn't beat Canelo. And you see what happened? And we saw what happened. But we'll move on. The duality of Anthony Calandria. UNLV beats Miami of Ohio 41-38 in regulation, despite Calandria throwing 2 interceptions, because Calandria late game throws 2 touchdowns and he makes plays with his legs. And then they finally remember they got Jaden Thomas on the team and start running him the ball. Jaden Thomas, I think, only had like 1 carry in the first quarter, ended with over 100 yards in the second half. Once they finally remember, like, oh man, we got Jaden Thomas. He's one of the best running backs in Group of 5 conferences. Let's run him. But Daquan Finn did get knocked out of this game, and I think that did help with UNLV coming back. Daquan Finn held onto the ball rolling to his right, held on a little bit too long, threw it up. He actually threw a pick 6 on the play that he got hurt. So he held on too long, threw it up, threw a pick 6, got hurt, didn't return. But UNLV escapes 41-38. My Mountain West champ is still undefeated. But yeah, they got one Mountain West win, I think. But we move on. North Texas, a team to look out for in the American Athletic Conference, beats Army on the road 45-38 in overtime. To be honest, North Texas was up multiple possessions throughout the end of this game. Throughout the entirety of this game. Army clawed their way back into this game, but missed on the 4th down conversion in overtime while North Texas, scored a touchdown, so they had to go for it. And North Texas wins the game 45-38. And like I said, man, they're an explosive offense. They're a team to look out for in the American Athletic Conference. The American Athletic, looks like I would say like a 3-4 team race between Tulane, Memphis, North Texas. You know what? I'm gonna say 3 because I want to say UTSA badly, but I don't know, man. UTSA, if it wasn't for Robert Henry Jr., they would lose a lot of games. So I'm not gonna say them, and I want to say South Florida too, but I don't know. I'll say 5. I'll throw them in there, but I don't know. Next, speaking of UTSA escapes against Colorado State on the road, 17-16. Now I watched this game. Both offenses couldn't really do anything defensively. They came to play. But what won UTSA the game was, funny enough, an offsides penalty. Colorado State scored the touchdown to make the game 17-16. They kicked the extra point, which is good. But UTSA, in an attempt to block it, runs offsides. Coach Norvell accepts the penalty. He goes for 2. The backup quarterback, I forget his name right now, but he was the reason why they even came back. So shout out to him. Rolls right. Misses a throw in the back of the end zone. They don't get the onside kick. UTSA player is smart, smacks the ball out of bounds. And UTSA escapes. They escape. But Robert Henry Jr. had some, bruh, we got to talk about Robert Henry Jr. real quick. He's on major performances. Robert Henry Jr. now has 4 70-plus yard runs for UTSA. The kid is amazing, man. It became his backfield with Kavorian Barnes going to TCU, and he's done nothing but just take over. He's been a bailout for UTSA. But we'll move on to Cal absolutely getting smacked by San Diego State. 34 donut. Did not see this coming. That's why this is the only reason why this game is to mention. Because with a score like this, I wouldn't even talk about it. But because San Diego State is the one that did it, and Cal put up nothing with that quarterback. Actually, this quarterback threw like multiple pick sixes. Just a great game by San Diego State. Cal, I don't know if they would sleep at the wheel, sleep at the office. San Diego State got whatever they want on offense. And the crazy thing was, Cal starts off, goes right down the field, get to the 1-yard line, don't score. But you're thinking, okay, they can move the ball in these guys. I don't think they crossed midfield for the rest of the game. It was just a bad game. And then, no, I'm lying. Not the rest of the game, excuse me. I'm lying. I'm wrong. I was about to say the rest of the half, but that's wrong too, because they missed a field goal in the first half as well, which I called out. But man, absolutely dominant win by San Diego State. The next game I want to mention is shout out my boy Teddy. They got us. USC beats Michigan State 45-31. Now, I will say before I start off this, please get well soon, Wayne Matthews, Flowers, football alum. So I hope everything goes well beyond the fact that he's a Flowers football alum. I'm just saying he went to Flowers. That's my old high school, so shout out to that. But yeah, man, we lost Wayne Matthews, lost Jordan Hall to a tight end. Defense took a lot of defense just got whooped. Point blank period. I don't care if they was there or not. We still getting spanked. Mekhi Levin, Eli Sanders, the run game. It was just, hey man, they dominated on the offense. We got Nick Marsh involved a little bit, but yeah, too much firepower for the MSU defense. But we lost by 14. Hey, if any more victory, we covered the spread. So, but last but not least, gotta shout out Maryland in a 14. No, they were 10.5-point dogs win against Wisconsin. They did knock out former Maryland Terp quarterback Billy Edwards on the second drive, Billy Edwards Jr. And Wisconsin was just lost on offense from there. Defensively, Wisconsin tried their best to keep Wisconsin offense in the game, but I mean, when you're on the field a lot like Florida, it's only but so much going to happen before the dam breaks. And Maryland comes off with a great win, 27-10, to move on to 4-0. But now, we got major performances. But before I do that, shout out to my boy Joe. He said he had Missouri going 8-10. They might be better than that, to be honest, man. It might be better than that. And Kev says, yeah, the defense definitely held their own there, wasting Lagway talent. Man, I hate Florida, but it sucks to see. For Lagway, not for Florida. But we move on to major performances. And let me get this ready. We're going to start Friday night. Ian yards. I think it's been Drevius, actually. Jacobs, wide receiver, South Carolina. 7 catches, 128 yards, and a touchdown. Lenoris Sellers, 18-28, 302 yards and 2 touchdowns, quarterback, South Carolina. Ahmad Hardy, running back, Mizzou, 22 carries, 138 yards and a touchdown. Omari Kelly, wide receiver, Michigan State, 6 catches, 133 yards and a touchdown. Makai Lemon, wide receiver, USC, 8 catches, 127 yards and a touchdown. Wayman Jordan, running back, USC, 18 carries, 157 yards. Dante Moore, quarterback, Oregon, 21 to 31, 305 yards and 4 touchdowns. Fernando Mendoza, 21 of 23, 267 yards and 5 touchdowns, quarterback for Indiana, again against 9th-ranked Illinois. Kobe Martin, running back, Indiana, 12 carries, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Elijah Surratt, wide receiver, Indiana, 9 catches, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Santanga, the third, wide receiver, Oklahoma, 9 catches, 127 yards and a touchdown. Trinidad Chambliss, 17 to 27, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 carries, 112 yards, quarterback for Ole Miss, which I will talk about that in a second on my closing remarks. Justice Haynes, running back, Michigan, 17 carries, 145 yards and a touchdown. Ja'Cory Barney, wide receiver, Nebraska, 6 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame, 19 carries, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Sutton Smith, running back, Memphis, 12 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Cortez Branham, wide receiver, Memphis, 7 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Eric McAllister, wide receiver, TCU, 8 catches, 254 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jaden Thomas, running back, UNLV, 13 carries, 118 yards, and a touchdown. Kenny Tracy, running back, Miami of Ohio, 16 carries, 104 yards, 6 catches for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, I will say this, because I do this with quarterbacks, though, picks. He did fumble late. That cost him the game. So if I talk about quarterbacks, interceptions, and major performances, I got to bring up the fumble here. Sorry, Kenny. It's no slight. Fair is fair. Terrell Anderson, wide receiver, NC State, 6 catches, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns. LaShawn Williams, running back, Kansas, 19 carries, 129 yards, and a touchdown. Dylan Riley, running back, Boise State, 19 carries, 171 yards, and 4 touchdowns for the Boise State running back. And mind you, he's in a backfield as running back by committee. Cade Harris, wide receiver, Air Force, 8 catches for 177 yards. Jordan Napier, wide receiver, San Diego State, 9 catches, 154 yards, and a touchdown. Robert Henry Jr., running back, UTSA, 21 carries, 144 yards, a touchdown, with 2 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. And then last but not least, Yannick Smith, wide receiver, ECU, 9 catches, 146 yards. So that is major performances. Shout out to all the guys that made the list. Shout out my boy David Burns, watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. Appreciate you, my guy, for coming and showing love. Now, a couple things I want to touch on before I end the show. And one, is there some quarterback controversy in Ole Miss? Now, I know people say you don't lose your job to injury, and I respect that. But this is what I was. The offense just looks so much better under Trinidad Chambliss. It does. And he's a better run threat. He's been super accurate. The man can just flat out play. I think they need to just stick with Trinidad Chambliss. This ankle injury for Austin Simmons was probably the worst thing that could happen for him in terms of his job. Simmons coming into it was what? 4 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. I don't think Chambliss threw a pick yet, if we're being honest. So I'm interested to see what Lane Kiffin does with the whole quarterback situation when Austin Simmons gets healthy. I am interested in that. My boy David got some comments. He said, dang, man, I can't believe 9 Illinois got blown out by Indiana. I can. I in my previews, man, I picked Indiana. I told people the defense is going to be ready. Cignetti, all he does is win. And Ohio State, I know they dominated, but Illinois ain't that. I seen it coming. I did. And then he says, happy Deion's team won. I'm happy that Colorado got a win too. And I don't think that he should have made that move at quarterback. He should have stayed with Kaden Salter. He should have stuck it out. But, I mean, it's a new situation, new team, new year. and he's learning. So I give him grace for it. But yeah, I did want to touch on that Trinidad Chambers topic for sure because the man is balling, and he might have earned himself the starting quarterback position for Ole Miss. I think that's all I really wanted to touch on. To be honest, I don't think, I don't really see anything else that I really want to talk about. So this has been CTC. I appreciate y'all for watching. I don't know when I'm gonna be back because I gotta look at the schedule for week 5. If it's some good games Thursday and Friday, week 5, I'll be back to preview those. If not, I'll probably be back later to preview Saturday. My man said Michigan State needs to get it together after USC beat down. Nah, our defense just is what it is. It's been like that for years, bro. It's no getting together. It's just I don't know. I don't know what it is, to be honest. I don't know the fix. We done tried to do coordinators. We done tried to do players. I don't know what it is, but it ain't changing this year. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all football Sunday. I don't got nothing to worry about. I got something to worry about tomorrow night. But y'all enjoy y'all Sundays. Make y'all some money if you're at the dinner like me, but I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.